So, I'm not gonna lie, this is another completely unscripted video, but I've been trying to earn money on Tester Up recently. It it, I, I failed immediately. I failed at talking. Okay, yeah. I was trying to see if I could make enough money for an Xbox and the Fortnite Crew Pass, which I've already priced because eBay has them used. I mean, has the Xbox used. I don't think you can get a Crew Pass used, remarkably, at like $120 or something. And I'm trying to get $120. Well, I see something, and it's $276 for an interactive story app. And like the quests are read 60 books. That's easy. I can read 60 books. I shouldn't have thought that. So, alright. So, the thing with these books was I didn't realize until I opened the app that they're not like books. Like, this isn't gonna be Fahrenheit 451 or Stephen King's It. No, these are women's romance books, but interactive. So, I originally didn't want to, then I was like, alright, I'm gonna have a little fun with this. So, I started immediately being rude to the first love interest it presented to me. Just was being rude for the funnies. Well, after a while, I realized something. It is forcing me to like this. It is forcing me into a three-way polyamorous relationship. I do not want to do that. I want to be rude to all of these people, including my sister who has cancer in the story. It doesn't really matter. And the farther I got into this, the more weirded out I got. So there's a scene where you create a fake name for like for yourself because you don't want to tell the dude you're marrying that you're his bride because the main character's an idiot. Well, he sees through that lie and then drives you home while berating you about it. And then you're kind of forced to flirt with him. I'm not kidding, you have to pay to unlock two of the other options, the rude options that I wanted to use originally. So I got forced to flirt with this dude. That was weird. Well, then he, instead of, I think, well, then the next day, he takes me to his house, where I walk around his house naked. I don't know why I did that. I'm not sure I can show that on YouTube, which honestly might lead to this whole thing just being like gameplay and like me talking. Highest chance, like realistically. Well, I, I, I ended up stopping using the app because you have to pay to finish one book. You can get a free 5 chapters and then you have to pay for it manually. Why would I do that? At all. I'm trying to make money out of this. I'm not trying to spend money on your stupid little app with stupid little stories where the main character has less intelligence than a fruit fly. Well, then, I ended up uninstalling it just because why would I want to have that installed? I want to figure out if there's a way to remove it from my Google Play so that no one knows I ever installed that. I don't think that should be in my digital footprint. Well, I so well I was like, all right, maybe I'll. This is before I knew I had to pay for anything. Maybe I'll just skim through it. Like I'll just click the phone screen and watch Bill and Ted. Actually, I was intending to watch Bill and Ted, and I did. It's a good movie. I like it. It's Till in bed. Anyway, so as I was scrolling through, like I looked up from. I was looking down at. Hold on. I was looking up at the TV that was playing Bill and Ted, and then I looked down, and suddenly the character was naked. This is the scene where I'm walking around Burr's house naked that I was talking about. And it took me multiple seconds to realize what was happening, because in the scene prior, I was fully dressed. They just randomly took Homegirl's clothes off. Why would you do that? There was... And I was like, okay, maybe there's some different stories. Maybe they're not all romance. They're all romance stories. They are 100% all romance stories. Some of the titles I saw include The Cinitaur's Son. I'm just gonna let that one sink in for a second. Obsessed with the Wrong Brother. Stepbrother. That I'm not kidding, the title one was just Stepbrother. And, like, there was a lot of these. There was, like, multiple different categories. Like, I went to dark and sci-fi, and they were all just romance novels. Please stop. I don't know who came up with the idea to make these, but you shouldn't be allowed to make games. Like, I'm fine with visual novels, I feel like I should clarify. But that's not really a visual novel, that's just... Peter, that's not a meme, that's just porn. I don't really know what else to say about this one. It just kind of really caught me off guard. Because why would you do that? You really shouldn't have. So instead of doing that, I have decided to play Raid Shadow Legends. I'm not joking either. Tester Up has a thing on Raid Shadow Legends where if you get to level 60, you can get like $200 or something. So, working on that. I'm already at level 25. So, don't think this should take long, considering I'm unemployed. So, anyway, the rant's not over about the romance novels, because as I was watching Bill and Ted and just flipping through the thing, not really looking at it. And then I looked down, and I was in the Play Store with my card up, about to pay for something. Because as I mentioned, some of the options you have to pay for. Because I didn't realize at that point that you had to pay for it. And I was accidentally about to spend money on this random thing that I didn't want to. Like, I did not want to spend any money on that. At all. And I remember thinking while this was happening, that changed rapidly. That changed really quickly. Because I'll put the scene of Bill and Ted that I was on when this happened on screen.
Dust? When?
Dude. Himes. Ujan ano. Blanco.
And I got jump scared by me paying for something that was just naked women and naked men. I'd like to clarify, I say naked, but have you ever seen those things that anime does where the character is naked, but they are but the sexual parts are covered by like fog or something? That's what it was. They weren't actually like, luckily for me, they weren't actually like nude, but that was a really weird experience. Yeah, so expect a Bill and Ted review soon. Wait, before the video ends, there's actually an extra thing I'd like to add that I didn't mention because I forgot to mention it. Like, I mentioned that, like, the app forced you to pay for options, but I didn't really tell you much about the options other than they were flirty. One of my biggest gripes with these options were that they used emojis, and it's a visual novel. So, I also don't really like the option. Like, one of the times that I was supposed to pay for something, I had two options and one that I needed to pay for. The options that were free were turn around and run, or turn him on. I don't. This was during the naked scene that I mentioned earlier. Of course, I chose turn around and run, but like that makes me wonder what the age rating on this app is, and I'm not checking. I'm not going back to the App Store to look at it. So, freaky little app. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. This app, I don't remember what it's called. I think it's called Interactive Stories Chapter 8. It gets a negative 10 out of 10. That's what I'd like to tell you. That's what I came here to tell you.